PJ2 GPS radio is super easy to operate. Right out of the box, we want to put it together. And there's only three pieces you need: a battery pack, the antenna, as well as the radio itself. There's two battery packs, an alkaline battery pack, and then the lithium-ion rechargeable battery pack. You can put 6 AA's here in the alkaline battery pack and use it. Note that the lithium-ion battery pack can be recharged through the Type-C port on the side of the radio. And now I can screw on the antenna, and I'm ready to go. The PJ2 GPS is extremely easy to use, and at its heart, it is the ultimate backup comm radio. Because on top of the radio, it has the standard PJ plugs. The same 2 plugs that most headsets have that plug into the panel can plug into the top of the radio. Programming the radio is extremely easy as well. We can just type the frequency in we want right here on the keypad. It puts it up into the active frequency, and the last frequency I had goes down here. I can flip-flop between these 2 frequencies using this button on the side. To transmit, there's a PTT switch on the side of the radio. Just push that in. When transmitting, there will be a TX displayed on the screen, as well as this light will illuminate. When receiving a transmission, we'll also have this light illuminate. There are 3 main power options for the PJ2 GPS. Right now we have the lithium-ion rechargeable battery on it. There's also an alkaline battery pack that go in the same spot. And there's a Type-C port on the side of the radio. This port not only powers the radio, but also recharges the battery. Next to the Type-C port, you'll see an indicator light, and that can indicate the charge status of the lithium-ion battery when it's attached. Directly above the Type-C port, you'll notice there's a 3.5 millimeter aux output jack. This will work for bringing the audio out to a speaker, but it'll also work with like a computer headset that has the 4-pole design. So this will do left, right, as well as microphone out of this port. Items that are found in the menu: frequency memory, GPS, intercom, NOAA weather, Bluetooth, screen lighting, and settings. Storing frequencies is a very simple operation. I type the frequency I want to put in, and then I can hit the save button here at the bottom. That will open the frequency memory menu, and I can choose where I want to save it. In this situation, I'm going to save this frequency in the 00 slot. Hit the save button. I can save up to 100 different frequencies into this radio. If I want to see that frequency again, I can hit the recall button, and it will recall all the saved frequencies. Note right away that I can also name these frequencies. Menu button to go in the frequency memory menu, and then I can name frequency. Choose the frequency I want to name, and I'm going to call this India 69, because this is our home frequency at Sporty's Airport. The PJ2 GPS can do scanning, and there's a scan button here. I can just hold that down, and it will start scanning up. Once it finds an active transmission, it will stop. Once that transmission goes away, it'll start scanning again. If I want to skip that frequency, I can just hold the up key, and that will keep on scanning. To stop it, I can either hit the back clear or the scan button again. The GPS is operated via the GPS button on the front of the radio. It's going to give you your vitals: ground speed, altitude, and track. And it's also going to give you some GPS navigation stuff. So you have a lat and long of your destination, which you can change that to the name of your destination, the distance to that destination, as well as the bearing to your destination. In the GPS menu, I can display our current lat and long. This is important if I am trying to transmit my current position to somebody else over the VHF radio. I can read out the lat and long right off the radio. Programming waypoints is done through the Save Waypoint menu here. If you're outside and have GPS reception, you can program your current location into the radio as a waypoint, or you can input your current location in the lat and long input. Many navigational apps like ForeFlight will have the lat and long data listed with the airport information. To program a waypoint using the lat and long input, I'd first use a navigational program like ForeFlight to find the lat and long data I need. You'll notice it's up here at the very top. You'll also notice this is why we're not flying today. It's socked in here at Claremont County. 3908 north and 8421 west is our GPS coordinates for Claremont County. So I can go into menu, GPS, save waypoint, lat and long input, and then input the data. I can hit enter to go down the next line. And that's west. And then I can hit the save button. It asks me where do I want to save it, and I want to save that as my first location here. And the location is now saved. If you want to look at those, you can go to nav to waypoint, and you'll notice it's saved into that location. I can save multiple waypoints into the memory of the GPS radio. I can also name these waypoints for simplicity. To do that, I go to the Name Waypoint menu setting. Select the waypoint I want to name, and now I can name it using the arrow keys. I'm going to name this India 69. That's Claremont County's identifier. And now it's saved as India 69. The PJ2 GPS has an emergency mode, and that's found on the number 2 button. If I hold that button down, it automatically programs the frequency to 121.5 and starts navigating to my home airport. So I want to tell the PJ2 GPS what is home. In my situation, it's India 69. So I want to set India 69 as my home airport. To do that, I'm going to go to the menu, GPS, Set Home Waypoint. And now I can select India 69. The GPS radio now knows that that's where I want to go when I have an emergency. So when I go back and I hold down that emergency key again, it's going to navigate to India 69. In a true emergency, this will give me all the vital information I need. How fast am I going over the ground? My altitude, so how high am I? My distance to home, and then the track and bearing to the station. The idea is if I can match my track and bearing to the same number, I'm heading the right direction to home. And then I watch the DME, the distance to that station, to figure out when I've arrived. While you're looking at the GPS menu, there's a few other things to note. You can check satellite strength with this menu setting. If you just want to navigate to a waypoint, that's what you find down here. So when I have multiple waypoints programmed in, like Oshkosh or CVG, I can fly direct to those waypoints. Last but not least is the input magnetic variation. And this is important if you're going to compare the readouts of this unit to readouts of a installed GPS or an iPad. Because at its heart, this radio is using true north, not magnetic north. So if I tell it my current magnetic variation, it can then do the calculation to give you that appropriate track and heading readout. There's one other item on GPS that we need to mention, and that's found in the Bluetooth menu. At the very bottom, it says Output GPS Data, and we look for some really great things to happen with that menu in the future. The PJ2 GPS has a built-in intercom, and I can activate that intercom on this menu setting right here. Plug 2 headsets directly into the PJ2 GPS radio, one through this port as well as the GA headset through the top port. When activated, you'll have intercom capability between the headsets that are plugged in, so you'll hear yourself talk. You can also use an inexpensive splitter here on top to plug 2 GA headsets into the top of the radio. No need for an external intercom box. The PJ2 GPS has NOAA weather frequencies pre-programmed into the unit. You can scroll through them using the up-down arrow keys. The PJ2 GPS is equipped with Bluetooth, and this allows audio transmission to a Bluetooth-equipped headset. For me, the biggest use case is AirPods or a QC35. When you're walking around an air show, you can Bluetooth those to the radio and listen to traffic flying around. You can also Bluetooth to a wirelessly equipped headset like the Bose A30 or Lightspeed Zulu series headset. While you can connect those wirelessly, it's still very convenient for me in the cockpit to plug the headset directly into the top of the radio. Bluetooth devices can be paired via the Bluetooth menu. Push this button here at the bottom, turn on your Bluetooth, and there's pairing mode is right underneath that. Note that if you go directly to pairing mode, Bluetooth will automatically turn on. Once you have paired a device, you can name a device just like you can name waypoints. You can disconnect that device. You can also delete it from your list of saved Bluetooth devices. The PJ2 GPS will remember the last device it was paired with and try to automatically pair with that device once it's turned on and Bluetooth is initiated. Screen lighting and backlight levels can be adjusted in the screen lighting menu. You have backlight levels for high and low, the keys, as well as my favorite, night mode. When in night mode, the screen goes black with the text in white. When flying at night, using night mode along with a lower backlight setting will help preserve your night vision. There are a few other items that can be found in the settings menu. We can change the spacing from quarter spacing to 8.33 spacing. We have side tone volume, ANL, which stands for automatic noise limiting. When in doubt, just leave that on. The volume of the beep can be adjusted or eliminated so we don't annoy those around us in the office. Finally, you have a reset to default settings. The PJ2 GPS is the ultimate backup radio. It was made for pilots by pilots, and we value your feedback. If there's anything you see that we should change or improve upon, please let us know. Email radios@sporties.com.